worked this miracle out for you, you would have thanked the motherfucking lawyer. So he did something different. He gonna remove everybody around you so they can't get no lawyer, so that when you come up out of this, you be a walking testimony of the power of the ancestors and your spiritual belief. At the time, I couldn't understand it. I'm like crying, I'm scared. But at the same time, I'm a fighter. So that's why when they came and said, look, we got 30, they came a couple times, we got 35 years, don't go to trial, we got 30 years. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never getting out. My own public defender said, you ain't gonna never beat this case. I said, what you mean? God got me? And she woke me up too. One time I went to court, she said, you ain't gonna beat this case. She's like, we got 25 years on the table, you should take it because you ain't gonna never see daylight again. Right? I'm like, man, you can't tell me that I'm behind the bars. You can't tell me that, man, God got me. She like, your God can't save you, and walked off. Right?
Wow.
So I went back to
that wasn't a spiritual battle, right? If that wasn't spiritual, bruh, that was not flesh and blood, that was spirit.
Exactly. I went back to my cell, and I was like, I was so mad, but at the same time, it took me deeper. It was like, she was like, your God can't save you, because she already knew that the God I'm believing in, Jesus and all them, she already know him. You feel me? So it was like, with me doing the work I have been doing, helping so many people in there, and then going into that trial, it really came down to that, like the ancestors were like, listen, okay, we blessed you to know this, and we blessed you to go through this, so what you gonna do? So I had to literally tell the ancestors, I'm like, man, listen, I promise you. They literally, like, that's what I'm saying, that's why I tell the young guys, like, I can really say don't get out the streets. Most people never went to trial. Most people, if they do go to jail, it's something like they getting that right out or they cop out. Most people ain't never went to trial, and they definitely ain't went to trial on no real heavy shit where they facing life. You know what I'm saying? So me having walked, okay, good looking God, having walked that journey, right? And my mom and them in the audience, and if they say guilty, if the judge say guilty, I'm not standing right here with y'all right now. This was 2016 when I went to trial. We in 2022, so it's only 6 years ago. If that judge say guilty, how y'all like, hey God, we glad you help. None of this would be happening right now. You see what I'm saying? I literally, and she knows she in the city. I'm in Cook County in 26 California. So when they reading the verdict, I had to deliberate on the verdict. I had to go to the back. When I went to the back, I promised the ancestors, I said, listen, I'm on my knees. I'm like, listen, because I already know if I go out here and they say guilty, how I'm going to look my mom in the eye. They just gave her only son 40 years in jail. See what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't know what they gonna say when I go back out here. I had 5, this is how my testimony powerful. I had 5 people testify against me, right? This happened in broad daylight, including a police officer, right? That testified against me. No public, I didn't have no paid lawyer. I was my own fucking lawyer. I went pro se. You know what I'm saying? That's why a person can't tell. I know they penal codes and they laws. I know all that Moorish American talk. That shit do not work in their court at all. Even though you be saying the right shit, it don't work though. You know what I'm saying? Because that's maritime admiralty law when you step in the courts. You see what I'm saying? So, and then I had already won a lawsuit that I put in against them on my own for getting stabbed. So, all it really came down to was, if you don't go out here and do what we need you to do, you're not walking out these doors. Now, if you go out here and you give your life to the people, you know what I'm saying? Wake the people up. I'm arguing with them like, oh, man, ain't nobody gonna want to hear this shit though. We don't care what they want to hear. This is what we need you to do. This is what we put you here to do. So what you gonna do? You gonna keep pretending to be JG or Shad G or Jetta G or Jetta D or all these little nicknames you done came up with for yourself while you trying to be a thug and a gangster, some shit that you wasn't put here to do. Are you gonna be Rashad Jamal? Are you gonna be Divine Insight? Are you ready to be yourself now? Fuck what the world think, or are you finna keep right? Like, or are you in the situation was I'm facing life? So it's like, I'm like, man, listen, I promise y'all, if y'all give me a second chance, when I go out the doors, I'm not letting even the threat of death stop me. That's why I be like that. Y'all be like, man, you got the courage, because it's like I done made a covenant. I made a pact with them. So I'm not worried about no death or no police and no FBI, no CIA. I fear those who sent me. I fear those who speak through me. I fear those who I made that agreement with to help all our people, to help the young guys that's coming up behind me. They gonna try to come through that same path. And it's not enough for us to be like, nah, that ain't how that go. You know, it's not enough for us to challenge the bullshit, you feel me? But without no fear. So that's why when you ask me that question, like, man, what made you go all the way up in there? It was really situation in jail and how it came to me. You know what I'm saying? How it came to me. You know what I'm saying? In and out the hole when I didn't even do nothing. They used to come to my cell and shake my cell down and take all my books for nothing, because the COs used to be like, this nigga smart as shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I started leading hunger strikes in jail. Like, that we hit like, a wing might get into a fight in Division 9, so they done locked the whole division down. We ain't had no visits all month, no commissary sky high. I done organized strikes in there. I'm like, okay, I'm finna write to the leader, the vice lords, the Latin Kings, the BDs. I had a leadership spot for the GDs, so I already had that because of my brain. So those older GDs was like, we want him right there because he's a great leader. He know how to think. He gonna lead. I ain't had nobody getting killed and stabbed. Before I got in that position, people was fighting in jail and getting stabbed. When I got right there, I started teaching people how to read. We going to court trying to get up out of here, not going to court trying to stab each other. Like, all that silly shit went out the way. So I started helping people too while I was in there that whole time. I realized around that second year of being in there that it's not nobody's fault that I'm in here. It's mine. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, I'm also not in this situation right now because it fucked in my mind to be like, why am I going through this if I wasn't in the wrong? I'm going to college. I'm changing my life, God. How I'm going to change my life and then you're going to do this to me? These are questions I have for the ancestors at that time. You know what I'm saying? But then it hit me like, no, you're not in jail for shooting him because you was right. He tried to shoot you. You're not wrong for that. And he tried to kill my mama, so you're not wrong for that. But at the same time, all that shit you did from 9 to 19, remember them nights? And it hit me one day. I'm like, damn, I'm not even in here for 4 years for this case. I'm in here for all the shit I got away with when I didn't get caught.
Yes, Lord.
You see what I'm saying? And from that point, I was able to really just elevate. Like, okay, I know what it is now. This just karma. I sent out a lot of negative energy. So it came back right now. But I ain't finna do life in jail. I'm gonna be good because I've never been a bad person. I've always still had a good soul. But I have sent out negative energy before.
Yes, sir.
That's just throat chakra. That's how you grow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I peeped that God, that's when I was able to really like understand that this was just like a spiritual journey, a testimony. And then now look at it now, like how I look at it, like when I could tell the story, and it's like ain't too many people that can tell that story like that. They could be like, man, I went to trial and fought for my life and won with myself. I didn't have no lawyer. So it's myself and the ancestors. You know what I'm saying? I lived this life and seen and went to the top in that life. Most people don't go to the top. It's like when a person sells drugs and I sold drugs, I was never no drug. I couldn't get past an 8-ball. I couldn't save up money out weed because I was smoking. But it was homies I had to get to that stage, right? But when it came to like being aggressive and being like
only the real gonna relate.
and being
Yeah,
violent,
Rashad
Jamal, all
Jamal,
of that.
J.
So that's why I was like, okay, I got you. I went to that level, then I went to jail, and I went to the top
God
of my
top.
organization.
You are
So I
God.
went to a leadership position. Most people that's GDs, they don't get to that position. I'm at that position. I'm sitting with the big guys that ain't never coming home. I'm talking to them when they coming past the people.